Hey everybody, how you doing? Hey, so I'm actually talking about this unusual, well, maybe not so unusual, but communication born of Facebook, which because it's text-based and two-dimensional, tends to bring out a type of behavior within some people that is, let's say, less than gauche. In this case, the person I'm talking about is Lisa Padilla. I don't expect you to know the name, and that's not really the point. The point is that Lisa was complaining in a very long post on Facebook on her page, profile page, that, let me just get this straight. She was upset with people who used her name to, I guess, get ahead, or people who would engage her to assist with their project specification, writing, and basically, as it adds up, use her without any type of monetary compensation or even, if I understand correctly, a thank you. Those are bad things. She then went on to discuss people who would walk by and not say hello and other acts of meanness and anti-socialism. Okay. In total, what she wrote was extremely valuable, but Facebook is a closed loop. And I thought that, hey, if it were on a blog, a journal blog, right, where people could see it, it would be more effective. And I thought that that was all. I mean, I didn't know, to be honest with you, that Lisa had a business blog. Next thing I know, she goes on this written tirade that, because I used two words, I said that we have to have blogs to combat digital authoritarianism. In other words, putting everything on Facebook as opposed to having our own private Idaho and freely expressing things, right? So that other people can see your message and it gets put out to a wider audience. I was just trying to help. I thought. But rather than her assume that I was doing good or trying to do good, she assumed, for reasons she completely made up in her head, that I was doing bad. And this, as I explained it, and the more I explain it, the more nonsensical it is. So then she goes off and says that I want to change the conversation to one of digital authoritarianism, in spite of the fact that I only wrote those two words. And she went off on a multi-paragraph tirade about it, what digital authoritarianism was and everything else. I didn't care to go in that. But then she accuses me of wanting to, quote, talk about it. I'm talking to you now, I'm not writing. Talk. That's not talking, that's writing. Just saying. And then when I tried to basically say, hey, that wasn't what I was doing, she doubles down and makes it worse. And then she calls me an asshole. In other words, first she assumes that I'm trying to steer a conversation in her conversation in a different direction. I didn't care to, because I really don't like to have conversations on Facebook, A. And then B, she goes off on her own assumption, right? And then calls me a name based on her own incorrect assumption of what I was doing, not even bothering to check in with me to determine whether or not she was correct. It was all in her mind. That's wrong. And so she invents this narrative, and I defriend it for that reason. Because, she mentioned that she had friends who weren't true friends, and here I'm connected with her, and she's not being a true friend to me. In other words, she's complaining about people who treat her in a way where they're not friends, and yet she turns around and treats me the same way. The difference, however, is that I have no problem cutting somebody like that off like that. So I did. Life is too short. We're going through a pandemic, right? So to get on social media and express negative emotions and then attack people for made up reasons. They're not itsy bitsy reasons, they are manufactured based on something else going on in her brain, is wrong. It's wrong. It's morally wrong, spiritually wrong, just wrong. And if I want to have a great day and continue on with the great things that I'm doing, to have someone like that who will not apologize, she will not apologize. She will not bring it to herself to apologize. It's wrong. And, she's married to Fred Davis, who was on my advisory board at another time, and he likes what she's attacking. And I said, you know, Fred, that's out of line. And the whole thing was not mature. And I wrote that in a private message to him. But he made a public effort of liking it. And I'm thinking, you know what? Why am I connected with him? I don't need to be. And when I say I don't need to be, to me, a friend is somebody who, generally likes you as a person, thinks the best of you. People who do what they did don't. That's what I'm talking about. I'm not concerned about the reasons why or whatever. So it's about, at this moment in time, being the best person you can be. Lisa, you got to do that. I don't care who you're with. If you want to have a different world around you, the one thing that you've got to do, the one thing, is treat people like you want to be treated. You didn't do that to me. And you laid it out there bare for everybody to see. Okay.